Guys, nobody wants to paint, but to stay on the good side's better half, there's no choice. 5-Star Painting of Fort Smith is a professional company that does residential and commercial painting. They do it all: interior, exterior, refinishing cabinets, fences, and decks, even some light carpentry. From the time you call for your free estimate to the attention they give to you in detail, you will be satisfied. It's guaranteed, and 5-Star Painting of Fort Smith owner Sean Weidman has been in the area for years, so you know it's all about a great reputation. Make Mama happy and everyone's happy. 5-Star Painting of Fort Smith, licensed, insured, and bonded for trust. Go to 5starpainting.com/Fort Smith and get that honeydew done.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Spring is in the air. Not in the house, Dalton. It's okay, AJ. Aw, snap, I told you not in the house. Red Kool-Aid all over the white carpet. Mom and Dad are gonna... It's okay, AJ. I can't believe it. We're so in trouble. I told you so.
Thank you for calling Service Master Clean. This is Tanya. How can I help you?
Tanya, it's Dalton. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. Think Service Master Clean. Visit us online at smcleanonline.com.
Got a mystery stain on the carpet and the kids insist they don't know what it is? Or you're just ready to give the house a good spring cleaning? Call Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Call today for spring specials.
Service Master Clean. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. It's okay, AJ.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of sunshine, a few isolated showers or storms today. Our temperatures this afternoon will be warming up into the upper 80s. Partly cloudy, slight chance of showers or storms tonight. An overnight low, upper 60s. And then tomorrow we'll see an increasing chance of showers and storms. Our high near 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 61 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Been doing some homework, man. I appreciate the work you're putting in. Your show is really, really good, guys.
What were you doing there?
Communicating. Keeping up foreign relations. Giving him the bird. The finger.
Yes, I know the finger, Goose.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Oh, the lengthy days of July in sports radio. And, of course, these are they are the longest days of the year. Didn't we just have the actual longest day involving hours of sunlight a few days ago? Was that Friday? I think that was Friday that we actually had the summer solstice, where you literally is the longest day of the year. And I think the sun, it felt like, at least where I live, it felt like it stayed out till 9 o'clock. I was at the Travelers game the next day, and, they put the lights on, but it's not like they ever really needed them. But it's July, and here it is. I guess you would say this is probably the longest month for sports radio hosts, certainly in the state of Arkansas and a lot of other places that focus a lot on college football. We just had a pretty exciting baseball season come to an end, but, that's been about, what was that, a week and a half ago? I think it was a Monday that the season ended. It would have been 2 weeks ago. The loss against Texas Tech for Arkansas baseball knocks them out of the College World Series and then really kind of starts the the sports off season for everybody across Arkansas. A lot of Major League Baseball, of course. There's a lot of NBA news certainly coming over the last, 16, 17 hours. It just doesn't seem to stop. But as far as the teams that you are most personally invested in and the ones that we are most financially invested in as well in this very radio station, there ain't much going on these days. And this would be the longest month because you got 31 days in July, and then you got another 30 days in August. Put those together, Ty, and what do you get? You get the countdown that you heard just before halftime started today. And on Ty's daily countdown until Hog football, there it is, 30 and 31 equals 61 days until the football season begins. And I'm probably going to miss on a couple of the publications that might get out earlier than, I'd say, the most famous one as of right now. I guess Athlon Sports gets theirs out earliest. What is about a month ago or something. And then Phil Steele gets his publication on newsstands. Are there still newsstands in the country? Is that's still a thing here in the United States?
I
Places
think
that sell papers specifically.
Certain really populated cities like New York and maybe Philadelphia, and there's D.C. I would think where there's a lot of foot traffic, there'd be a lot more likely to be newsstands like that. But Phil, before we go a moment further, I know that we FaceTime every day and our audience can't see what you're wearing, but I am gawking at your shirt right now, man. It's got a retro Razorback. It's got Arkansas spelled out horizontally. I mean, that sucker, or excuse me, not horizontally, vertically. Man, you got to take a picture and show the audience what you're wearing because that shirt's dope. I really appreciate it.
This was a giveaway from the 2018 Razorback baseball season.
Okay.
I think, what year was this? It's funny, too, but I will tweet a photo out so that anybody who's listening who wants to can know what we're talking about. It almost looks like I'm wearing a whale's tail on the front of this T-shirt, the way that they had it mimicking the button-down on a T-shirt. Yeah. Good luck, it's like getting the T-shirt tuxedo going.
Is that supposed to be a tie and a pocket square? Is that what the imitation on the shirt is?
I think this was legitimately just supposed to be the button-down and then whatever the logo was. This would be as rudimentary of a Razorback logo as there has ever been drawn. Although it's better than the front-facing Hog right now, I can tell you that. I think this was the 1914 Razorback baseball team. No, 1912. That's what it says on the shoulder.
And you know how partial I am to retro sports stuff, and especially when it's retro Razorback apparel. I am flocking to it any chance I get. And so I'm just, once we pop on FaceTime as the show starts, I'm just gawking and looking at your shirts like I gotta give me one of those.
Usually me making comments about your fashion choice instead of the other way around.
Well, I am sporting today. My aunt's an Oklahoma State grad, and for the Masters, because Ricky was doing so well and he's been so close, she sent me a retro. What's the Cowboy's name for Oklahoma State? I can't think of it, but he's swinging a golf club. So
he could just be named Dusty.
Yeah,
you know? I think that would work for Stillwater.
Anyway, I mean, I think, this is a limited edition shirt. This was given away, one of 1,000. I forget what game it was, 2018, but I think Ebbets Field Flannels actually does sell an old jersey. It would cost you a couple $100, so I don't know if you're ready to pour your money into
Fork
that just yet.
Over? Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, just because you like Hogs memorabilia. I don't know about that. Hey, I've got a few more of these ready to go, so see what I'll wear tomorrow when
Whip
you do
out,
your last show of the week.
Whip them out, man. Yeah, I guess we're going to go and put that out there. So the old heads, Tommy Kraft and Phil Elson, doing the show together on Wednesday. Excited about that. John will be down at some beach in Florida. I'll be down in Nashville. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that show goes. Don't replace me, because it's going to be one of those scenes where you and Tommy like doing the show so much together that you're like, all right, Ty, you can do the morning show with John from now on, and Tommy's going to do the midday show with me.
Well, I would just say, because I know you're going to be driving to Nashville on Wednesday, you travel with food? You put a cooler in the car?
So I know we're stopping. My dad and I, we're going to stop to a barbecue place in Memphis, but there will not. I probably honestly won't carry any food.
I'm just thinking you ought to bring a couple of ice packs, because your ears are going to be rather warm on Wednesday. Okay? So just in case it gets a little hot on the side of your head, you'll know where it's coming from, and the one way to cool that down is ice on the ears. Okay?
Yeah, ice pick. Cool.
That'll be a really fun show on Wednesday, Ty. I think for both me and Tommy and for everybody else listening.
The show is just going to consist of you making fun of John and I, and Tommy making fun of John and I. The entirety of the show. If I was to listen to the playback of the program on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Wednesday, or whatever, the probably 75% of the show would just be jokes at our expense. But that's good. It's good when that happens.
Usually we do Get Off My Lawn on Tuesday. I think I'm going to have to hold off on that and just turn Wednesday's entire show into a Get Off My Lawn. When you get two guys that are over 40 years old doing the show, who usually host with guys that are 30 or younger, yeah. So, yeah. Let's not do Get Off My Lawn tomorrow. Since we don't have a show, there's no halftime on Thursday. There's no halftime on Friday. We can move a little either FOMO, JOMO, or we still need to do some halftime homework. And that's been 2 weeks going now.
So do I need to watch an episode of Cheers tonight, or are we going to assign something?
I'm just disappointed you haven't watched an entire season of Cheers by now.
Yeah, when's summer in? I got a whale of a homework assignment ahead of me.
You just have like 11 full seasons to watch.
Yeah.
Over the next 8 weeks until Razorback football begins.
Too much homework to
Are you telling me you're not going to be watching other television shows once college football season begins?
I'm pretty locked in for the most part. I just, because what happens is I spend much more time here at the radio station, and I'm listening to more stuff during the week about when college football's on, whether it's College Football Live, whether it's just different other radio shows. I'm trying to pay attention more, because that's when you can't be, your head can't be up your where during college football season, Phil. You got to be locked in, you got to be ready to go, and if you're not, you're going to get called out. So I try not to start a new TV show during college football season.
If Lily Collins was in the television show, it wouldn't matter if it was the middle of the college football championship game. You would switch over to that.
I'd make an exception. Yeah, that's probably the one person that I would make an exception for. You're correct on that.
Well, I heard the Morning Rush this morning, and I brought up Phil Steele. I think because it was almost kind of funny. I know John has to introduce the guests. Who that pays attention to college football doesn't know who Phil Steele is right now. He's been putting this magazine out. I mean, it's not a magazine. It's practically it's replaced the Yellow Pages as the thickest book inside the quote unquote newsstands or drugstores or Walmart or whatever it is you get this stuff now. And he's about as thorough as it gets. I know he's got a staff of people working under him, but he's got his name right there on it. And then goes on and is as in-depth with every single team in Division I football as any of the national pundits that are out there. And then he goes on it's got to take him at least a month to get onto every radio station that he's going to do an interview with leading into the football season. Because essentially, I mean, you're not a college football-oriented show or station if you don't have Phil Steele come on at some point before the season starts, because that's what it's all about with Phil Steele. It's about before the season. That's when you're looking at your prognostications. I mean, this is a guy who put out not just he put out an entire all league team for every college football league. The SEC, he's going 4 teams deep. We complain about sometimes that the SEC, has an all-star team, first team, second team, third team. They can have an honorable mention after that. There's a whole group of people picking it. Writers, coaches. This is Phil Steele doing this with it. He goes down to a 4th team. He's got the Razorbacks with 7 players selected on the preseason All-SEC, according to him. None of them on the first team, which really isn't very much of a surprise. Sosa Agim, Scooter Harris, Connor Limpert on the second team. Cheyenne O'Grady on the 3rd team, Rakeem Boyd on the 4th team, and then to show you just how much in the weeds he gets, he's even got Arkansas's long snapper, Jordan Silver, picked as the 4th best long snapper in the SEC. That's not just getting in the weeds, that's planting the weeds.
And you and I, if we were completely upfront, and we typically are on this program, we can say we didn't know who that was. Like, before you just mentioned
my favorite
his
player
name,
on the team, Ty, come on.
Before you just mentioned his name, before I read that stuff about him being on Phil Steele's 4th team, no one knew who that was, and that shows how much in depth and how much he spends time, him and his staff, like projecting who's going to be on his various All-SEC selections. Now, with Phil does an excellent job of putting out all this stuff. Now, he's not necessarily the most accurate when it comes to predictions. That's been documented over the various years. If you look at where he's had teams and where they've ended up, it's not the most accurate. But in terms of the compilation of information that he gives to you and all the stuff that he lays out, it's about as good as it gets, Phil. I mean, it's like an encyclopedia. People refer to it as the college football Bible. Like there's so much information that is in that little, and I say little, the little phone book as you refer to it as, and it's a valuable piece of information college football, Arkansas fans, and whatnot should prescribe to every single year.
Well, it's kind of like the kindling, to the start of the season. It's gathering the little twigs and sticks when you're going out and making your camping fire, just to stoke the flames a little bit, to get it going before the flame really starts burning in August, and then the season starts and you got a full-on flame going. But I mean, he also I was listening to the interview that Tommy and John and you conducted with Phil Steele this morning, and it dawned on me as I'm listening to him. He's talking about the quarterback battle, talking about how he likes the situation at running back. That there's a lot of snaps that are want on the offensive line. You just don't have a lot of experience on that offensive line, not together or even just in starting games and minutes on the field. And how exciting it is to see the influx of talent at wide receiver. And it all comes down, I mean, how many games are you going to win by the end of the year? And this is the main question that you're going to go into. And he's talking about, well, he's got Arkansas at 4 and tries to put a positive spin on it by saying, well, that just means you're just 2 upsets away from a bowl season, which is what we're all aiming for, at least this year. I mean, 2 wins last year. Of course, you'd like to see that doubled and probably tripled so that you might actually play, in some game in December or January. I know we got about 15 games in the bowl season played in January. But when you listen to that answer, what are the 4 wins? They're the non-conference wins. They are the non-conference wins, of which none of them really seems to be the sort of opponent that Arkansas should lose to, even in their worst year. Of course, you did lose to Colorado State last season. Portland State, Colorado State, San Jose State, and Western Kentucky. Those are the 4 wins that Phil Steele is picking for Arkansas. This is a national pundit who pays as close of attention to every team in the country as anybody out there. He thinks Arkansas is going 0-8 in the SEC this year. And I don't think he's the only one. So the question that, Tye posed on our poll today, will Arkansas garner any respect whatsoever from the national media? The answer is no. They're going to garner none. Absolutely zero. And I started thinking about that listening to Phil Steele's answer today. He's looking at a team that he thinks is going to repeat in the toughest league in college football with another winless season, but they would still double their win total from last year in that case.
And you mentioned this morning when we were texting back and forth about our rundown, what we were going to talk about today, the importance of Game 2 on the road in Oxford, Mississippi when they take on the Ole Miss Rebels. And it's not often that you can point to Week 2 as being one of the more important games of the college football season, but if you date back just even a couple years, think about how important the TCU games were. In the last couple seasons with Arkansas. You go on the road in 2016, get the W there, and then 2017 you had a chance, and we know about Cole Headland's miss and just how they blew that game down the stretch, and TCU was able to leave Fayetteville with a relatively easy win. This Ole Miss Oxford game is huge.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my. And I think it's at 6 o'clock, if I remember correctly, when we talked about it a few weeks back, the game time is at 6 p.m. Because I remember posting the video of the Grove girls talking about they don't care who wins, they just care about the parties.
They just want a late kickoff.
Exactly, because there's no fan base in the SEC that parties harder than Ole Miss, but it's an important game as it gets, and you're thinking to yourself, man, can Week 2 really be the defining moment of the Arkansas season in 2019? And it's hard to see them losing that game and then responding and then coming around. It could happen. I'm not going to say. But think about how much better the outlook on the season would be.
Oh, goodness.
If Arkansas was to win in Week 2. It's a night and day difference, Phil. 9 day.
It'd be instantaneous. I mean, there'd be such an effect of ending that winless streak in SEC games, which I don't even remember what it goes to, but obviously it goes back to Bielema's last year. I think it's what is it, like 11 or 12 games right now?
It's at least it's not 17 because that's what you were before you got to LSU in 2014.
And you remember what it felt like when they finally ended that streak?
Yeah, it was the extinguishing of so much pain and suffering that Arkansas fans had felt, and that's the storming of the field at that point. Phil, wasn't because of how good of the team that they faced across the field at LSU, but it was the sigh of relief, the fact, man, we beat the 17th team ranked in the country 17-0 on a 17-game losing streak that Arkansas continuously over and over found ways to lose ball games.
Well, nobody's viewing LSU, Ole Miss in the same context as that LSU team, but a win would be a win, especially in the league in the second week of the season, leading into back-to-back winnable non-conference games. So if you beat Ole Miss, which I think is doable. They don't have a Jordan Ta'amu anymore. They do not have that great receiving core that torched Arkansas last year.
Brown, all those guys, yeah.
It's a winnable game. One of the two winnable games that I see on the schedule, just glancing at it, along with the Missouri game in Little Rock the day after Thanksgiving. But that's the last game of the year. And by then, who knows? If you lost the Ole Miss game and you are slumping against everybody that you're expected to slump against, you're looking at that Missouri game kind of like you did last year, as though, goodness, maybe this team has let go of the so-called rope by that point. Hopefully that's not the case. You beat Ole Miss. Potentially you're 4-0 going into the Texas A&M game. And even no matter what happens in the next month to month and a half, you're able to point back to the Ole Miss game at least and say, look, there's something that didn't happen last year, right then and there. And it feeds the fan base. It feeds the players a little bit. Maybe it leads to more confidence against better teams, against an A&M or on the road against Kentucky. And if we're talking about the idea of respect amongst the national pundits right now in the preseason, they don't have any reason to give Arkansas any real respect, considering that everybody else inside their division, save for Ole Miss, is probably going to be ranked in the top 25 and is getting better via recruiting every single year. And Arkansas is too, but you're going to need another 2 recruiting classes like this one in order to get where you need to be. And, oh, by the way, maybe you got a little piece of that recruiting class coming on with Blaine Toll. Of course, made his announcement during our show on Friday. And we've got Blaine Toll coming on in this hour, the Hazen Hulk, to talk about his decision, which is a great get because this is one of the guys that will be part of I think he's supposed to report to campus in January. So, he's going to be part of, he'll be part of the team sooner than most. And from all you read about him and all you see about him, this is a guy that should be a building block of potentially a successful team after this next year, in which some team, a lot of people out there, we got to keep a count, Ty. Phil Steele's one of them, and you can't put him on the spot. Maybe you could have and say, "Are you saying this team's going to go 0-8 in the SEC?" He does think that. We got to keep a tally and see who else thinks, because there are going to be. I'll say there will be at least 10 national pundits that we would pay attention to, that we respect their opinion, that will pick Arkansas to go 0-8 in the SEC again.
And this goes back to something else you brought up to me before the program began. It's the hogs against the world mentality. And this isn't just applicable in football. Whether it's basketball, people thinking that Arkansas never get back to the Nolan Richardson type era, whether it's baseball after what happened in the College World Series a year ago. There's always the national media members out there that look at Arkansas, put Arkansas in a certain box or whatever, and this is an ideal example. And we talked about, not last week, but the week before, how it's kind of a good thing that Arkansas doesn't have these high expectations, because typically, it was Andy and I that actually had this conversation. Typically, Arkansas in the football season performs better when there's not a lot of expectations harped on them, and they don't perform when they have a lot of expectations put on them before the season begins. So that can be a good thing. And the fact that, as you said, there's not going to be any national media members that are going to stake their reputation on this Arkansas team next year. Now, they'll say, as whether it's Saturday Down South, ESPN, whichever publication you really enjoy reading nationally, they'll say Arkansas got better, but they're not going to go out on a limb and say Arkansas is going to go to a bowl game. Arkansas is going to take a big step in year 2 of Chad Morris. You'll just see the progressive word better than last year, but there won't be anything significant enough behind that where you can hop on a national media guy's train and says this guy believes in Arkansas. They're going to tread very lightly under year 2 of Chad Morrisville until he shows them something, which to their credit I understand because I'm kind of the same way. But until he shows them a big jump or a big step forward, they're going to tread very cautiously, Phil.
Well, and I believe as far as the national scene is concerned, and I think we get this sense when we talk with Bill King on Wednesdays, and nothing against Bill, but I think as far as he's concerned, Arkansas is an afterthought in football in a lot of people's eyes that pay attention to it. That doesn't mean that's the way they always were. They were not. It has not been always the case, but for the last 3 years, I think they've been an afterthought in everybody's eyes, with the exception of people within the state of Arkansas. Even inside the SEC, Arkansas is an afterthought in football. They are at the forefront of thoughts in baseball. They are still in the middle to forefront of thoughts, I think, in basketball, but they're the last team thought about right now in football.
And, Phil, before we go to break, as I posted these highlights on our Facebook page and Twitter, I have all these fans tweeting back, man, I miss when Arkansas was stomping on the likes of Mississippi State and Ole Miss, the kind of what did you describe? Just describe it as just like the step stool, like the stepchild, the teams that were just getting destroyed. And Arkansas has been passed over by both Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and now they are at the bottom of the pecking order.
Vanderbilt, too.
And Vanderbilt, too. Not only in the SEC West, but you lose to Vanderbilt last year. So that's just kind of puts in perspective where you are as a football program, that at one point you were crushing the teams that you thought were beneath you, and now those teams are returning the favor and smacking you in the mouth. Hopefully there's a little bit of a mentality change this year, because I don't know about you, but I don't really feel like talking about another 2-10 football team this year.
Or another 0-8 run for the SEC.
Too.
Absolutely not. Hoping for better things. If you're looking for a new car, you need to get a hold of Rhodes Chevrolet. They've been a name you can trust for over 80 years. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. So from the first time you walk into their showroom, you'll be treated like family. That's part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or at RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. Back after a break, halftime on a Monday on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
A show that lives up to the hype. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
Is Frank Broyles fired Petrino, though? Frank Broyles played by a different set of rules. I think if Frank Broyles, this is just my opinion, if Frank Broyles had still been AD, a lot of the facts and a lot of things that became public may not have been as public. A lot of things might have gotten handled differently just because of the influence Frank Broyles had when he was at his best.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Tommy Kraft for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, controlled access, and card readers. Call The Fence Man for a quick, no obligations quote. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey folks, it's that busy time of year again. Greenview, the River Valley's largest grounds maintenance provider, is seeking additional workforce in lawn care, landscaping, irrigation, and weed control. If you're tired of that going nowhere job and you're looking for a new career path with advancement opportunities and year-round employment with benefits, seek out Greenview today. Call them at 479-242-0466 to set up an interview today.
Hey, Fort Smith, the Hampton Inn by Hilton was ranked in the top 10 Hampton hotels in the U.S., and their devotion to top-notch hospitality shows. With complimentary Wi-Fi, a free hot breakfast, and all of the bells and whistles you would expect, this newly renovated hotel has it all. They offer Hilton's digital key technology, meeting spaces, an indoor pool, and sports court. Hampton Inn by Hilton gives you everything you need for business or leisure travel. Give them a call at 479-452-2000 and see for yourself why the Hampton Inn is Fort Smith's best hotel.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
At Brankrow Furniture, we have always been involved in supporting and giving back to our community. During the recent historic flooding, many people and their families have been affected, and we continue to keep you in our prayers here at Brankrow Furniture. We want to help by offering no sales tax, free delivery, and sell at discounted prices. We can also store your purchase until you're ready for delivery and setup. May God bless you and God bless America. Brankrow Furniture, your made in the USA headquarters. Best seats in the house.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
The Paint Store in Van Buren, ready to help you with summer projects, putting 31 years of experience to work and helping you choose a new color or match one you really need. In addition to a computer, they use their eyes and minds to see color and make adjustments to choose just the right Richards Paint product for your project. They'll keep samples in your name and address for 10 years. No other paint seller does that. See the large selection of the current and popular paint colors from Richard Paints and experience customer service you won't get anywhere else. The Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road, Van Buren.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player. Got that wood right here.
July 1st means 61 days until the start of the college football season here in Arkansas, as far as Division I in Arkansas football is concerned. But it also is the official start of NBA free agency, which almost feels like it's over the day that it starts. It's pretty much impossible to keep track of everything that's going on, but it started late last night, and of course the big news of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving heading over to the Brooklyn Nets. Everybody's casting hatred and disdain upon New York Knicks owner James Dolan, who seemed to promise, he practically promised almost, that, I don't know if he ever used the name Kevin Durant. I don't think he would be allowed to. Not like that would have ever stopped James Dolan from doing something that would get him in trouble. But he practically guaranteed or promised that they would be that much better, but it doesn't appear that's the case. They do not get the two of the most sought after free agents in the game right now. And I guess the other one would be Kawhi Leonard, who is still, that's the one domino it feels like is still waiting to fall. So who else have I missed out on? Because I know there's been a ton of these signings going back and forth. A couple of former Razorbacks do get second. Bobby Portis gets a second contract, $31 million a year, $31 million total deal for 2 years to not be Kevin Durant and to be Bobby Portis with the New York Knicks. Patrick Beverley staying with the Clips, 3 years, $40 million. I know the Clippers were hoping to land Kawhi. That could still be the case. That would be an interesting combo, he and Beverley on the same team.
Yeah, Patrick Beverley, good for him, all along with Bobby Portis, them getting paid their contracts. And the Kawhi domino, as you mentioned, Phil, it seems like the last big one to fall. Now, there's a few others that'll take shape, but that's the big one. And the Lakers and the Clippers and them seem to be interested. But, I mean, as it pertains to here, I know a lot of Arkansas fans are really happy to see both Patrick Beverley and Bobby Portis, and especially Portis getting to play under the bright lights of New York City. I mean, you think about going from playing in Fayetteville, Arkansas, to both playing in Los Angeles. I know the Clippers aren't the same franchise as the Lakers, but
yeah, but that's a different thing, though. What's going on with the New York Knicks is a different thing. I mean, you got to feel good for Bobby Portis about getting a $31 million contract and coming out of Arkansas. But he's going to be looked at by Knicks fans as not Kevin Durant, as not one of the premier free agents on the market.
That's correct.
I think Bobby Portis is going to be good with the Knicks, but how good are they going to be with him? Probably not so good. And this is weird, too, because, I mean, I know the Lakers traded for AD, but, you know, who else is on that team aside from him and LeBron? The Knicks and the Lakers are supposed to be two of the marquee teams in sports, but they can't get out of the way of their own ownership at times. You know, and you know, you and I have talked a little bit about like the idea of playing at Madison Square Garden as, you know, one recruiting tool for Mike Anderson now that he's at St. John's and they play X amount of games there, and it's looked at as the mecca of basketball and all that. It doesn't really look like anybody's interested in playing for the home team there.
Especially since Kyrie and Kevin Durant opted to go to the Brooklyn Nets instead of the New York Knicks. That's a huge blow for Knicks fans. And I know Stephen A. Smith wasn't exactly the happiest when Rachel Nichols was talking. He was like, well, what about Bobby Portis Knicks? And he just was shaking his head. And that's kind of back to your point. Like, Bobby could have a really solid couple years in the New York Knicks uniform, but he's not going to have even close to the same impact as Kevin Durant would have. But I am kind of curious. He gets to play alongside R.J. Barrett, the Duke kid, and then you also get to play with Kevin Knotts, former Kentucky player. So they got some young pieces that I think will be intriguing, but that doesn't mean they'll compete for an NBA championship, and that's what the Knicks want. They hadn't done it since '99, since they got to the finals. Really hadn't been like massively relevant since then, and then the '70s when they won with Bradley, Monroe, and all those boys. But it's just a crying shame that one of the most historic franchises in the NBA in New York, and it's just not.
No, it's ridiculous. It's like the Mets overtaking the Yankees.
Yeah.
With the Nets overtaking the Knicks. These things really shouldn't happen very often.
It's a perfect
And when they do happen, it shouldn't last very long. Shouldn't last very long at all. You know, and I know we got to go to the break because we got Blaine Toll coming up in a moment. But it was interesting. I listened to that crying episode, essentially Stephen A. And it's just funny. That just fit really nicely in with the Mike Francesa clip we played last week about the Mets. And sometimes
I can't even believe it.
Yeah, you can't even believe it. I mean, it's like people in Arkansas, media members in Arkansas get ripped for being fans of the teams they cover. Nobody ever, looks at the New York media like that. I mean, Stephen A. is as open of a Knicks fan as there is. Mike Francesa is practically rooting for the Mets during his show as he's doing what amounts to illegal play-by-play. So there you go. And we'll take a break. We got Blaine Toll, athlete from Hazen and future Arkansas Razorback, coming up next on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime.
ESPN Arkansas 95.3 and Hardee's present the 15th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest for a football trip of a lifetime. Qualify for the finals by completing the Thick Burger Challenge. Eat a Thick Burger in 90 seconds or less and you are in. The next challenge remote will be held at Hardee's, 1820 Phoenix Avenue from noon to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, July 9th. You must be at least 18 to take the challenge. 15th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest for a football trip of a lifetime from Hardee's and ESPN Arkansas 95.3.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through covered drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
Hey dads, do you have an athlete in your house that is looking to take their skills to the next level? Excel Speed Training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club has the proven results to maximize your athlete's potential. Designed for both male and female athletes of all ages and various sports to improve mobility, endurance, agility, and vertical jump. Take your game to the next level with Excel Speed Training. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. That's Mike at 479-926-0193 at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
They don't build cars like they used to, and they don't repair them like they used to either. Today's vehicles contain advanced lightweight materials and safety features like crumple zones and airbags that help protect your family. Repairing them properly after a collision requires up-to-date training. Evans Body Shop has it. We're among only 10% of shops to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class business. When you pick a collision repair shop, make the smart choice for your family's safety. Choose gold class trained repair professionals.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
0% financing and huge spring savings on new Buicks at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2019 Buick Encore, only $18,999 or just $299 a month. That's a 2019 for under $19,000. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on most Buick models, including the Cascada, Encore, Regal, LaCrosse, and Envision. Spring into savings at the #1 Buick dealer in the country, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is new technology? That's a question I was recently asked by a student at a career day presentation at a local school. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we use new technology like digital x-rays, an iTero scanner instead of those messy impressions, and an Invisalign outcome simulator which can show you within minutes how Invisalign can straighten your teeth. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us show you how new technology makes a difference in the way we are able to care for you. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Wide open in the middle of the field. Hayden inside the 20, inside the 10. Hayden's going to the house. The Hogs ran it right up the middle. Nobody was there. 38 yards. And the Hogs are a PAT away from tying this one up.
Well, it was on Friday that Arkansas football got a great piece of news and celebrated wildly on social media, as you do these days, when Blaine Toll made his announcement that he is committing to play football at the University of Arkansas. He has it right there in his Twitter handle, at the Blaine Toll. He says UARK FB 2024, so there you go. He's planning it out. Blaine, we appreciate you making Halftime on ESPN Arkansas. Place to talk about that. What's the weekend been like since your big announcement?
My phone's been blowing up. It's a lot of notifications, congratulating, and just thinking that I'm going up there, and it's been pretty good.
So your phone's been blowing up, and Tye and I here, we were paying attention. We were doing the show on Friday when you were in the Hazen gym and made your announcement, and we had your Twitter profile pulled up, and we couldn't help but notice you had your personal phone number on your Twitter page, and it was by the end of the day you had removed that phone number. So I assume that once that announcement came, I mean, you had to look there and say, oh boy, maybe I got to take that phone number off.
Yes, I did. I was just I took all my recruiting information out of my bio. I had it on there for the coaches to text me, so I just took everything out of my bio.
Has it been mostly positive things you've gotten from the Arkansas fans, or have there been some, upset Oklahoma and Tennessee fans that have also gotten in on the phone?
There's been a couple upset OU fans, Tennessee fans, but not many. But that's mostly positive stuff.
Talking with Blaine Toll, newest Arkansas commit here on Halftime. Blaine, you're listed as an athlete by most recruiting services, and I know you probably did talk to Chad and Coach Smith, some other guys. What position do you most want to play at the next level at Arkansas?
I want to play D-end, and that's what they ended up deciding to recruit me as.
So when you called Mark Smith on Thursday and told him you were going to go to Arkansas, what was his initial reaction? How excited was he to get your commitment?
He was really excited. We've been talking about it for a while. We just didn't let anybody know.
So go ahead.
And he was just really excited.
So had you committed to Arkansas for a while and you just kind of kept it under wraps, or was this just kind of a decision you came to last week?
That was a decision I came to last week after my visit with Tennessee.
So I guess Tennessee did everything they possibly could to try to shake you loose. I saw you were quoted as saying, you kind of knew you wanted to be a Razorback for a long time, but you fought it a little bit and started looking out of state because of that reason.
Yes,
choosing a college is so difficult for anybody for any reason at all. And, you go back and forth. But to describe what the process was in your mind, growing up thinking I want to play for Arkansas, then kind of questioning it and eventually settling on that?
Well, I always wanted to play for Arkansas, obviously, but OU and Tennessee were all right there. Right at the end, it was all together. And then Tennessee, they went kind of down because of the distance. But then I went and visited the people. The people brought it back up even. And then I started thinking about people going to the NFL. That's what I wanted to do, make it to the next level. And Caldwell and Chavis are the best options, defensive coach-wise, to help me accomplish that dream. So, and that's just how I came to the conclusion.
So, I mean, essentially what you're talking about, I know you've got family in Fayetteville and all that, and being an Arkansas native, but it also sounds like this, kind of was a little bit of a business decision, too. You're pointing to two coaches, Caldwell and Chavis, specifically as guys that you think can get you to that next level.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So I also saw you you mentioned you want to play defensive end at Arkansas, but you have an interesting combination of positions you play at Hazer. You're a quarterback and a defensive end, and these two things don't go together too much. Do you plan on staying at quarterback during this next high school season?
Yes, sir, during high school. I choose to.
Will that be a difficult thing to give up, to give up playing the glamour position and going to the defensive line, if that's the case?
No, it won't be that difficult. It gets tiring playing both ways of the ball like that. I mean, I love it, but it's just, I don't know. Quarterbacks over glamorized. It can be fun, but it has ups and downs.
Tye, it sounds to me you can hear in Blaine's voice. This is a guy who respects a quarterback but really wants to hit him.
Yeah, so, Blaine, we had Jake Beckett on our morning show a couple months back, and Tyler Wilson was also with him on the program, and he was talking about how sometimes the quarterback gets more adulation, just more praise, and you're kind of like being a defensive guy, you're a blue-collar guy, which is kind of sounding like what you're saying. Do you have a former defensive player on the Razorback, whether it's Beckett, whether it's Trey Flowers, just a defensive lineman that you've kind of looked up to, you've kind of idolized these last few years?
It was Jake Beckett. I've always liked Jake Beckett. I have a jersey from when I was a kid that he signed, still at my house.
So you've been, by a couple recruiting services, you've been named the best player in this upcoming Arkansas 2020 class of all these guys that are projected to go to college somewhere to play football. Do you think you are the best player in this upcoming recruiting class?
I wouldn't say that. We all have our own things. It's hard to compare different positions.
So with the other, go ahead. Sorry.
It's just like some are running backs and quarterbacks. I play quarterback, but I'm not a quarterback. Everybody knows that. And I'd say I'm the best D lineman in the state in the recruiting class.
So since committing, Blaine, have you reached out to whether it's Chandler or whether it's some other guys in this class? Have you guys been kind of talking about this next journey you guys are about to take at Arkansas?
As soon as I committed, the whole recruiting class put me in a group chat on Snapchat and text message, like as soon as I committed.
So I thought I read, Blaine, I know you skipped 8th grade. Are you planning on getting to Arkansas and enrolling early?
Yes, sir.
You are. That's being a year and a half ahead of time. Yet you've got the body to already be playing college football. What will the next semester be like for you? Because you're going to graduate early and then focus on getting to Arkansas. So getting a lot going over a short period of time. What do you expect out of the next few months?
Well, I'll have all my credits except 3, so I just got to take 3 college classes online, and then I'm done. So,
do you have a plan on what you'd like to major in besides football?
I'm a big coach. I want to major in math.
Talking with Blaine Toll-Hazen, quarterback and defensive end here on Halftime. Blaine, Phil's just kind of setting the tone for what you're planning on do, like when you graduate early and do that route. Do you plan on signing? It sounds like you plan on signing in the early signing period. Is that kind of what you're gearing up towards?
Yes, sir.
And I know it's been a whirlwind as of late, but do you have an idea of what you want to do for that? Do in the Hazen gym or any way, shape, or form that you're going to go about that?
Yeah, I'll probably just do it in the Hazen gym.
So outside of just playing up at Arkansas, what are you most looking forward to being up there on the hill?
Getting to spend more time with my niece.
Yeah, you've got is it your brother that's up there, police officer, correct?
Yes, sir, my real brother. Yes, sir.
How much did that factor into the decision to play there? Because not everybody that's got family in the area wants to always be around them. You must be pretty close with your brother.
Well, it's just I didn't really get to grow up with my brother, so that's I wanted to be closer to him later on.
What's the age difference between you and he?
He's about 30.
All right, so I mean, you're going to have somebody looking over your shoulder too. I mean, a 30-year-old policeman as a brother that'll be there while you're on college campus. That'll be an interesting mix, don't you think?
That'd be all right. Cool.
I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just that's definitely one thing. It sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders, so you can keep yourself on track. But Big Brother's there just to make sure, right?
Yes, sir.
That's very good. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on. And I know it's what do you got going on for the rest of the summer before you got to get back to school?
Football practice and work.
So it sounds like a pretty good summer, And by this time next year, you'll be ready to compete for a starting position on that Arkansas defensive line. What do you think about that?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Blaine, before we let you go, do you have just a message out there for Razorback fans? I know you got a couple months before you get up there to Fayetteville if you're going to sign early, but do you have just a message, just kind of something you want to present to Razorback fans, what you think you're going to bring up to Fayetteville?
Well, I'll just tell them believe in Coach Morris. I feel like he knows what he's doing. We can't turn it around overnight, but I feel like we'll turn this program around. And I mean, last time somebody from Hazen played at Arkansas, they won a national championship. So.
How about that, Phil?
That's well said. Who was it? I'm blanking.
Buddy Sims.
Okay, so he knows his
1964 team.
Knows his Arkansas football history too, Blaine. I think that's going to score with some fans as well. That's well done. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and talking about your commitment to the University of Arkansas, Blaine. Best luck during the summer and during the football season, and we and everybody else that's listening will be paying attention.
Thank you.
You got it. Blaine Toll from Hazen, committed to the University of Arkansas, says he wants to be a D lineman. He'll give up playing quarterback, but not before playing quarterback one more season for Hazen High School. All right, we'll go to the break in a moment. Talking to anybody out there that owns a business that needs more security, or maybe you need just some more curb appeal. Well, a new fence from the Fence Man can give both of those things to you. The Fence Man specializes in custom installations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access card readers. Call the Fence Man for a quick, no-obligations quote. Give Henry a call at the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Fenceman is a division of Quantum Property Services. We'll come back to wrap up the first hour of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
Is your home secure? No, really. Is your home secure? Do you just ignore the dog yapping, roll over, and go back to sleep? Guardtronic, the oldest alarm company in Arkansas, can make sure you sleep soundly. Founded in 1959, Guardtronic will make sure your home or business is protected against fire and burglary. How much do you have to lose? Call us at 785-2323 for a free quote before the bad guys make a call on you. Or visit Guardtronic.com. License E050.
Hey, Tye Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? Yep, they do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with a flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
When the temperature starts heating up outside, it means summer is on its way. Let Pinnacle Telecom ease the heat with a brand new Name Your Speed promotion. That's right, switch your business to Pinnacle's fast fiber internet and name your internet speed. Any speed, and pay just $50 per month for internet the first 3 months. If you're under contract with the other guys, no problem. Pinnacle will honor this promotion when your term is up. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com. Offer ends soon, some restrictions apply.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
FEMA has announced the opening of the Sebastian County Disaster Recovery Center. The center will be in Central Mall, 5111 Rogers Avenue, Suite 605, upstairs near Dillard's. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Homeowners, renters, and businesses should register for disaster assistance before visiting the Recovery Center by going online to disasterassistance.gov. For other Disaster Recovery Center locations, visit fema.gov/disaster-recovery-centers.
Introducing Wrangler Outdoor. Pants and shirts that keep you dry and comfortable in all conditions. Featuring quick-drying, water-repellent fabric and UPF protection, Wrangler Outdoor ensures you're ready for wherever the day takes you, whether it's a walk in the city or a trek in the wilderness. Wrangler Outdoor. Clothing with everyday versatility and outdoor credibility.
This is your last chance to save $1,000 off the remaining new 2018 GMC Sierras at Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston. Right now, you can save $16,000 off new in-stock 18 Sierra Denali 4-wheel drive half-ton crew cabs and $13,000 off new Sierra SLT half-ton crew cabs. These savings are unprecedented and will not be repeated. Hurry in now to Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston and find your next truck at prices you can't believe. Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston or online at huggm.com. Closer than you think.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Brantley trying to turn the corner, lost the football, and the Hawks have it. They will have it at the 35-yard line. Jevin Calloway came up to make the hit.
Wrapping up hour number one of Halftime with a look at an official and unofficial visit for Moses Moody to the University of Arkansas over the weekend. First time that he visited since the hiring of Eric Musselman. 20-plus scholarship offers, and Moses Moody, I saw, I think, which draft service, NBADraftRoom.com, did a recent NBA mock draft for 2021. So they're looking 2 years ahead, and have selected Moody as the 24th overall pick in the first round. 6'6" shooting guard out of Little Rock, currently playing at Monteverde Academy in Florida. ESPN has him as the 24th ranked prospect in the country and a 5-star prospect. He would be a big get for Eric Musselman if he chooses Arkansas.
We're gonna get a chance to talk to Kevin McPherson in the bottom of hour number 2, just kind of about his visit, what that's like, what he's looking towards as far as the college goes. Bill, I got a chance to watch this guy in the warm-up AAU tournament earlier this year, and this dude's athleticism is off the charts. And oftentimes these kids, they're so far ahead offensively, it's unbelievable. But what stood out to me is his defense. There was a couple fast break opportunities that some of his opponents had, and he would just come from behind, or he'd measure up and just swat the you-know-what out of the ball. And so you see that, like coaches, when they see that, him not only get after the floor offensively, but when they see a guy that aggressive on the defensive side of the ball as well, their mouths just waters. Division I head coaches, and This kid can play, like just flat out can play. Arkansas would be a huge get if they were to get Moses Moody.
Well, such a focus on the transfers that Eric Musselman has garnered at Arkansas, both of the graduate style and as of the 4-year style. But this is a program that is still going to be built on not 4-year players, but incoming freshman classes with talent and some depth. And then, you kind of sprinkle the rest of the roster, filling in the gaps with the transfers. I still think that's how you're going to build a championship caliber team at Arkansas.
Yeah, and this kid probably is a one and done. We'll see. Sometimes it doesn't always happen like you think it was, but I mean, it's a talented guy at Arkansas. Should do every bit of their power to hit on and get to the hill.
Well, that's hour number 1 of the books. Hour number 2 includes Kevin McPherson, some 3 up, 3 down. Your phone calls as well at 877-377-6963. Halftime on a Monday on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You spend a lot of time worrying about your family, so you shouldn't have to worry about your tires. Protect what matters to you with Michelin tires and experience a clever combination of confidence and performance. This summer, drive away with extra savings too. Between June 12th and July 11th, get a $70 reward card after submission with purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com/promo for complete offer details. Offer expires 7/11/2019. Void where prohibited.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
On July 1st, AOG will launch many exciting improvements to serve you better. AOG is redesigning your natural gas bill, replacing our customer information system, and updating our website, customer account portal, and online payment processor, so you'll have access to real-time data, payment options, and account history, all from the convenience of your computer or mobile device. Because of these upgrades, your AOG account number will change on your July bills. For details, visit AOGC.com.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Weather overnight, partly cloudy. Our lows in the upper 60s to low 70s. Mid to upper 80s tomorrow. Sunny for most of the day, but we could get some afternoon showers or thunderstorms moving through. For Tuesday, we'll get a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm, upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. You can call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 61 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Been doing some homework, man. I appreciate the work you're putting in. Your show is really, really good, guys.
What were you doing there?
Communicating. Keeping up foreign relations. Giving him the bird. The finger.
Yes, I know the finger, Goose.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
What do you know? What do you know? Starting the week on Halftime, a short week here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. No local programming Thursdays or Friday. In order to get your holiday celebration extended a little bit farther, we'll have a 4-day weekend, which means a 3-day work week. Oh, stop. Don't ever complain about Mount Rushmore season. That just means more days off. It's vacation time. This is the time where you can actually breathe a little bit, So take an extra day between showers. You know what I mean? Just let yourself go. Nobody's paying that much attention.
You're reaping in the days off, aren't you, big fella? Because you got 4 off last week. You're getting 2 off this week. You're soaking it up because you don't get any of this from October on. You're balls to the walls, no vacation. I got to work, Phil Elson. But this time of year, you're taking advantage of all these days off, aren't you?
That's all right, because I did find out and shared the news with you, and this is something we'll get into in a moment, that I'll have a little bit of a vacation going on during college basketball season. Can't wait for that thing to go. So why don't we just start this 3 up, 3 down on a Monday? Strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning. Strike 3.
I'll let you start with this one time because I feel like you should, and you should start with a down since I let the opening go for you.
Yeah, so I was messing with Phil before we got on the show because he was talking, say, hey, what are we going to do on Wednesday? And I said, well, Tommy's going to do the show with you. And I was joking with him just like as Phil sent me a couple food pictures when he was down in Omaha. I was like, well, now I get to do it in Nashville with hot chicken, stopping in Memphis for barbecue. Well, Phil basically slapped me across the face through a text and said, well, that's great for you, but I'm going to, and I'll let you share with the audience where you're getting to go in November. Is it November?
Well, yeah, it'll be November. It'll be around Thanksgiving time. And I don't know who the opponents will be, and I don't know what island it's going to be, but it's the Bahamas, and it's women's college basketball, and it's around Thanksgiving. So there you go. I might actually do a show from a beach. Why not? If we can get an internet connection out on the beach, if I can actually have my feet in the ocean.
With the shirt off.
Do the show with the shirt off and a frosty beverage in my left hand. It would have to be that Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, because obviously we won't have a show on Thanksgiving. Black Friday is Arkansas-Mizzou, 1:30 kickoff, so that's the middle of our show, so then won't be able to do it then. So I'll have one shot to figure this out. Again, I don't know the island. I don't know who the opponents are, but I know it's somewhere in the Bahamas, which is, an island chain in the Caribbean, and that's where we're going for Thanksgiving, and I can't wait. Can we just transport ourselves to late November now?
I'm good. I'm good with this week, Phil. I'm very excited for this week. But yeah, I thought I had an edge up. I thought I was going to one-up Phil with, I'm getting to do all this junk this week. And then Phil just comes right back at me with, well, I'm going to the Bahamas in November. And I just sulked for the next, 30 minutes or so. So there's my first down, which is a Phil up, honestly. I got a free T-shirt this weekend, Phil. I met some girl at that Ale on the Border Festival I was telling you about, and we were describing our love for Natter Days, and she was like, "I'm gonna get you a shirt." So I just got a free Papa's Pub drinking team shirt this weekend, just for
there you go,
just for being remembered. So I was in a very good mood on Saturday night.
Free clothing, that's always a good thing. Free clothing, and something to drink while you're drinking is I think
exactly what
I was trying to get at.
And I'd also like to issue a formal invitation. I'm working this beer festival coming up in August, Ales for Trails, and I want you and the lovely lady to come up for it. I don't know what your schedule looks like. I think it's the first week of August. Don't hold me to that. But if you have time that weekend, you ought to come up for it. I've never been to it. Apparently, it's a pretty good time, so I'm pretty excited for it.
And you said you're working. Are you working it?
Yeah.
Does this mean you are pouring beverages? Are you handing things out to people?
Exactly.
What will your job be?
I told you I was a bartender in another life, so I will be pouring beer for another ale festival this summer. I already did one, trying for number 2. So.
All right, so we'll see just how big your head will be.
It's big enough, I guess.
All right, my first up today goes to James McCann, former Razorback catcher, is one of 32 players that have been selected as first-time Major League All-Stars. And that is almost half of the 69 total All-Stars. Think about that. 69 players are Major League All-Stars. That doesn't mean all 69 will play in the game. That's one of the odd things about it. But you got to have a certain amount of players, and every team still gets one player, which I think is a little bit silly. But almost half of them are first-year players for the All-Star game played in Cleveland on July 9th. And in that game, another first-time All-Star is Carlos Santana, who has been playing for almost 9.5 years now. An outstanding slugging catcher / first baseman, finally made his first All-Star team. So look at James McCann, and we've gotten into this a little bit. Non-tendered by the Tigers. So they didn't even want him. They said, we don't have room for you on this abysmally bad team that we are putting together. And maybe they had reason to do that, because as good of a defensive catcher as James McCann has always been with the Tigers, he still hit .240 and had an OPS of .653. I mean, these are really low numbers, even for a catcher, which you sometimes don't expect much offensively out of a catcher. He'd average 1 home run every 38.5 at-bats with Detroit. Now, admittedly, you could still say it's a small sample for McCann this year, who began the season splitting time with Castillo for the White Sox, and ends up completely beating him out for the position. He's now hitting .319, which is the highest batting average for any catcher with 100 at-bats or more. His on-base at .376. So, I mean, he had an OPS of .653 last year. It's up over 240 points to .890. He's at 9 home runs. So he averaged 1 homer for every 38.5 at-bats for the last 6 years. 1 home run for every 25.4 at-bats this year. And he's turned himself into an all-star. Maybe a little bit of luck, maybe a little bit. His batting average with balls put in play, which takes away the strikeouts and the home runs, his batting average with balls in play is .403. And that's a sign of somebody who's getting a little bit lucky. But I think he's also hitting the ball really hard. So that's really cool to see. James McCann, first-time all-star, one of 32 players as a first-time all-star. So my first down is somebody who's not an all-star. Tye Richardson, it is time for your Tim Tebow AAA update. Timmy did hit his second AAA home run for the Mets AAA team on Saturday, but he is currently batting .154 in 62 games with 80 strikeouts against 30 base hits. So while his batting average is .154, Timmy T's strikeout average is .410. And he ain't, he's not a major league player. He isn't even a AAA player. Tim Tebow, down again.
I got to give credit where credit's due. My guy, Jack Kinley, is my second up. I'm going to pay homage to him by getting some Memphis barbecue on the way to Nashville this week. And, man, 4 games with the Tigers organization. He's hitting .438, 7 for 16, 5 runs. And you're going to have to let me know and kind of decipher this. He's promoted from rookie ball to short A. Can you kind of explain to me what that means?
It's all essentially kind of the same thing. Okay. I mean, when Jack signed his contract, I think the Tigers sent him immediately to the lowest rung of minor league baseball, which is the Gulf Coast League, and that's playing in the complex, in the spring training complex.
Yeah.
And they're games that quote-unquote matter, but there are 0 fans there. You can't even pay to get in. It's scouts that are watching, and it's a complex league. He's playing against kids. He's playing against teenagers. And the occasional college player that's still trying to hang on. So he got promoted to the short season team, which I think is Connecticut. I forget where in Connecticut. Now, that's a real minor league team that is owned by somebody else, and they're paying to get in. And so I guess he played, 4 games with the Gulf Coast League team? Good for Jack.
Yeah. And, again, I made a point to say that he was my favorite player in this last year's ball club. So hopefully he'll just keep going up and get to the majors. And that's That's my hope in the next couple of years.
To add to that real quick, I saw Dominic Fletcher hit a home run, I think, in his first professional game.
Dom bomb. Yep.
With the Kane County Cougars. So they sent Fletch all the way to low single A, which is good to see that the D-backs feel it'd be interesting to follow, Fletch. I think he'll get to the big leagues and wonder how long it'll take.
So we touched on it a little before concerning NBA free agency. It's been reported by multiple outlets that Knicks owner James Dolan was not prepared to offer Kevin Durant coming. Mind you, he's going to deal with this Achilles injury for the next year. He's at 31 years old. It's a little questionable, but your franchise has been irrelevant since '99. You got to have some guts and make a risky move and offer this guy a max deal. Now, he is not taking a max money in Brooklyn in order so they can get DeAndre Jordan, but you have to at least have the appearance and the perception to offer this guy money, to show him that he needs to be a New York Knicks, to show him every possible way that he could bring the New York Knicks to their first NBA championship since the early 70s, and they weren't able to do that. Dolan's been characterized as one of the least liked owners in sports. Constantly when he sees fans out in public or he sees them in the arena, they berate him, they belittle him. They just don't like him, Phil. So my second down is James Dolan, because it seems like that as long as he's the owner of the New York Knicks, they're going to be irrelevant in the NBA, which is just sad because that franchise in the mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden, there's no way that they should be, especially in New York City.
Well, I mean, Dolan goes on the short list of worst owners in sports. I don't even think he's got to be top of the list in the NBA right now. I mean, that's a franchise that should have every advantage that you need. But here's one thing I saw Derek Ruskin tweet this I think it was yesterday when the flood of free agent announcements was coming through. And he made a good point. When it comes to professional sports, we compare professional sports to college sports. You can press a reset button in college sports by getting rid of the athletic director and starting anew, essentially. And then from the AD, maybe they're deciding to, do this and that with whatever program, fire coaches, hire coaches. You can't press the reset button in college sports. You can't press the reset button in professional sports unless somehow the owner is forced to sell, like a Jerry Richardson situation with Carolina or Donald Sterling with the Los Angeles Clippers. Nobody – look, the New York Daily News, Newsday, the fan sites, all of those radio stations across New York City, they can scream and yell and cry and threaten, but James Dolan is never going to sell the New York Knicks. It is a vanity, and that is a vain man, and they are destined to be in the cellar as long as he owns them.
Who's the Mets owner, Phil? I don't know if you know.
Will Pond.
Okay, and he's been described as one of the worst owners in sports as well. I don't know. I can't get into the details and really the nitty-gritty stuff of baseball, as you know, but, I mean, is he comparable to Dolan? I'm trying to think of another owner, not only just in the NBA, but in sports that is disliked from the fan base as James Dolan, Phil.
The Mets, as far as I know, haven't banned one of the all-time favorite players from ever coming to a Mets game, like the whole Charles Oakley situation. Yeah. But that does lead me into my second down. I'll just go into a down and forget about the up, because the Mets, look, I mean, really, this is the longest month in sports talk. I feel like I could use the Mets for any negative point that I want. It's so easy with the Mets. I've got two of them to go with today. So one of the all-time great teams in Mets history is probably the greatest team in Mets history, the 1969 New York Mets. The Mets came about in 1962 and stunk for their first 6 years. I mean, historically bad. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the 1969 team, headlined by pitchers Jerry Koosman and Tom Seaver, jump out and win the National League East. The first year that divisions were in baseball, they go on to they beat the Reds in the National League Championship, which was a huge upset, and then had an even bigger upset in the World Series by defeating a heavily favored Baltimore Orioles team. The Miracle Mets, the first of the two world champions of the Mets, were honored, quote-unquote, honored on an on-field ceremony by the Mets over the weekend before they lost to the Braves on Saturday, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the 1969 World Series champions. Now, the greatest player in Mets history is Tom Seaver. Tom, terrific. Over 300 wins, most of those with the Mets, 3 Cy Young Awards, but he couldn't be there because he had to retire from public life announcing a few months ago that Seaver is suffering from dementia, so they couldn't even honor their favorite player. And then the two players that they put up on the video board, the Mets had honored players that were from that 69 team that had died. And they listed two players, Jim Gosker, a hitter that had 16 plate appearances, and Jesse Hudson, who threw 2 innings for the Mets that year, as dead. They are very much alive. They are not dead. And the Mets announced them as dead on their video on the video board. So that's
Can I laugh at that or no? Is that
Of course you can. Okay. These are live. These people are alive. Please laugh at it. Absolutely laugh at it. And so there's that. And the fact that the Mets also lost 3 out of 4 to the Braves, or 2 out of 3 to the Braves, and just can't do anything right. They're going to fire their manager before the season's over. Nobody wants to go to their games. They just basically stink. And, oh, by the way, today they paid Bobby Bonilla $1.9 million. Do you know about Bobby Bonilla Day, Tye Richardson?
So they talked about him on the Morning Rush this morning. So, yeah, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Bobby Bonilla, I had the pleasure of watching. Bobby Bonilla should be a great story because this was somebody that was raised in the Bronx and went undrafted, signed out of high school with the Chicago White Sox, and eventually became an all-star with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And this is like a rags to riches sort of a story.
Yeah.
He was a terrible third baseman who they converted to the outfield, good power hitter, late 80s, early 90s, and into the mid-90s. He left the Pirates for the biggest contract in sports at the time with the New York Mets in 1992. I think he was being paid something like $6.5 to $7 million a year for a 5-year contract. He didn't make it through that whole contract. The Mets traded him to the Orioles in 95, plays for the Florida Marlins when they win the series in 97. At that point, he's a shade of the player that he used to be. And the Mets, for some reason, traded for him in 1999 to be a bench player, a bit player for a team that was expected to contend. He hit 160 for them. He stunk. By the end of the season, this is funny, too, because in the playoffs that year, he was caught playing cards during a game in the playoffs in the clubhouse with Ricky Henderson. We've been learning about Ricky Henderson at halftime homework of late. The two of them, it was like the Red Sox with the beer and chicken thing from about 10 years ago. So the Mets were still on the hook to pay him $6 million. But they didn't want him, and they wanted the $6 million to go find another free agent. So they work out a deal with Bonilla's agent, Dennis Gilbert, a Pittsburgh-based agent, to release him. They don't have to pay him the $5.9 million, but they would defer the rest of this contract from 2011 through 2035. Essentially, they're taking what's supposed to be about a $6 million one-time payment and extending it out to $1.9 million every July 1st from 2011 through 2035. So he took a $6 million payment and is making almost $30 million on this just by deferring it.
That's the way to do it. That's like...
And he did nothing with the Mets in 99. They literally got nothing from him. They did take that money they saved and signed Mike Hampton, the pitcher, who won the NLCS MVP later that year. But it's typical Mets to be paying somebody almost $2 million right now for something that he barely even did 20 years ago.
That's like a government-issued bond or an IRA on drugs, the fact that he just defer it and then pull it out. Oh, it's, what is that, 5 times the amount he would have gotten? 6? Yeah, 6 times 5 is 30, yeah.
And it overshadows Bonilla's career. I got to watch him up close. He and Barry Bonds came up together. I mean, people might not remember Bonds and Bonilla. Bonds played left field. Bonilla played right field. They hit one right after each other in the lineup. They were very good friends. And Bonds, of course, turned into what he did, and Bonilla has become a joke. It's Bobby Bonilla Day.
All right, third up for me, y'all, we get college football in a month. August. College football is back. And I know, as you've heard several times on this radio station, Phil mentioned 61 days out from Arkansas football, and that seems, it's basically is 2 months, but the fact that it actually just is the next calendar month, which is August, is so incredible. This is my favorite time of the year, regular season-wise. March Madness is easily my favorite postseason play in all of sports, but there's nothing better than regular season college football, and I am so excited. Regardless of how Arkansas does this year, I think people are just excited for year 2 and just excited for another great college football season. I'm curious to see what happens with Ohio State, Ryan Day taking over for Urban Meyer. Does Nick Saban bounce back? Does who wins the Heisman, tons of quarterbacks. Like, Phil, this is, I mean, you can just see me tingling across the screen, and I'm just itching, ready to go.
Well, I think you need to wipe some Benadryl on that.
Yeah.
That'll help. That'll help with that a little bit, especially this time of the year. Are you sure it's excitement over football, or did you just get bitten by mosquitoes?
I think I had some poison ivy a couple days ago, so I had to buy some cream for that. But it could have been bugs too. It's a buy medicine do all. So either way, I'm not bit as much as I was. So final down for me, Phil. Saturday down south, our buddy Connor O'Gara came out with an article. I think it was him. The top 5 teams better off since the start of the 2010s. And my initial thought when reading this piece is Arkansas would be the team that you'd most want to be comparatively to start 2010 than you were now. And what I'm pulling the bad out of this is because if you think back to the start of the 2010 year, Arkansas makes their first BCS game in school history and lose. They shouldn't have lost to Ohio State because Terrell Pryor and those boys shouldn't have even been playing. But the following year, they follow it up with a Kansas State Cotton Bowl win, 11 wins. I mean, just an incredible start in the 2010 era. And then just to where you are now, it's the complete opposite. So Arkansas, if Saturday Down South were to do the opposite, which teams would rather be where they were at 2010 than they are now? Arkansas would absolutely be on the top of that list. And it's just a bummer. Because I think about what it was like when Ruskin and Tommy were doing the show back in 2010, 2011 and stuff. John's done radio last 4 years now, so he really hasn't done any big-time Arkansas football season. I just want to know what that's like. And it was the same when I was in college. The best season they went is 8-5. And I'm talking to my buddy's parents and friends' parents who went to school during Arkansas's national championship at basketball, who went to school during the good old years of football. I'm just like, what would it have been like to go to school during a relevant sports team? And then it also just takes me about, what's it like to do sports radio with the football team worth its salt? Like, what's that going to be like? Are we ever going to get to experience that? Are we going to be
we
in
wake up every morning and the birds are chirping and the air smells like candy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I wonder what that's like. So, yeah, that's my third and final down.
All right, I got an up because I'm doing a radio show with Tommy Kraft on Wednesday, and it's a couple of old guys that are going to be ripping on the new guys. I also have a huge up on United States women's soccer. I don't know if you watched the quarterfinal against France Friday right after we were done with the show, but that was thrilling. A 2-1 victory to set up a semifinal with England tomorrow. And I got to say this, like, it is, you know, I'm not a soccer fan, so to speak. I'm somebody that needs a team to root for to get into it. And I'll root for the United States team. I don't have an MLS team. I don't have an English team to root for. But I respect the sport of soccer, and it's a beautiful game to watch, even on television. You watch this women's team, this United States women's team, they are exactly what you want the men's team to be. The women's soccer team is so much better for the sport than the men's soccer team in the United States. The men's team has been an embarrassment. They didn't even make the World Cup the last time it came out. What did they beat Curacao by like a goal?
1-0, yeah.
Are there more people inside my apartment complex than there are in the entire island of Curacao? And U.S. beat them by one freaking goal. The United States women's team beat Thailand by 15 goals. And they're goddesses, every last one of them. They are really a lot of fun to watch play. They're going to beat England. They're going to win the World Cup. They're going to do great things for soccer in this country. But it only happens once every 4 years. It doesn't last. It lasts for a few months after the World Cup is finished, and then you kind of forget about it again until the next World Cup, or really the Olympics, I think, is the next time you start thinking about it in a couple of years. But I'm all in watching this team. They are that much fun to watch, and if you're a skeptic on the sport of soccer, you need a team to root for. This is a team that's worthy rooting for. And my last down, pitching in the London series. You saw the Yankees and the Red Sox play in London these last couple of days. That isn't really baseball, is it? That was like home run derby. Although it looked like the Brits were pretty interested in what they were watching. Scoring in the London series, so 50 runs combined. That's the most that the Yankees and Red Sox have ever scored against each other in a 2-game span. I got some notes. The Yankees at 376, the Sox at 397. The Yankee bullpen pitched 16 1/3 innings for the 2 games, won both of the games. Andrew Benintendi, by the way, 0 for 3 game 1, did not play game 2, not sure why. But the Yankees way up, as they have won 13 of 14 games. They get an off day today to travel, and they get off days Tuesday and Wednesday because they're playing the Mets Tuesday and Wednesday as well. All right, we'll go to a break. Before we do, reminding you about the 15th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest for a football trip of a lifetime. The first qualifier is coming up on July the 9th. If you win, you'll go to Kansas City, see the Chiefs and the Chargers, plus 2 tickets to the game, premium hotel accommodations, and spending cash. And all you got to do is, in order to get qualified, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you'll be automatically qualified for the finals, which are Saturday, August the 17th. That's the 15th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest for a football trip of a lifetime. Hardee's, July 9th. We'll come back on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime.
What it's doing to me ain't a secret.
This is the Morning Rush.
Bigger the deal the Director's Cup is to your AD, the more you suck in football. That's just how it is. Greg Byrne is the AD at Alabama, is that right?
Yes.
You think he cares about the Director's Cup? He may say he does to keep people happy publicly. You think they got a trophy case down there for Director's Cup?
Nope.
Trophy? Nope. Bet they don't.
How much extra money did they make off the Director's Cup?
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Now is the time to book your fundraising and corporate golf outings for 2019 at Eagle Crest Golf Course. Call Eagle Crest now before all the best dates are gone. 479-632-8857. Eagle Crest Golf Course, voted best of the best golf course 2 years in a row. Let their staff take care of everything, from help with your tournament as well as food and beverage service. If you're looking for a place to host your corporate or charity event this year, call Eagle Crest Golf Course. 479-632-8857.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
At Brankrow Furniture, we have always been involved in supporting and giving back to our community. During the recent historic flooding, many people and their families have been affected, and we continue to keep you in our prayers here at Brankrow Furniture. We want to help by offering no sales tax, free delivery, and sell at discounted prices. We can also store your purchase until you're ready for delivery and setup. May God bless you, and God bless America. Brankrow Furniture, your Made in the USA headquarters. Best seats in the house.
There is still time for you and your family to enjoy the summer of their dreams in your own backyard with a Doughboy above ground pool. Hi, Tommy Kraft from my good friends at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale. The sale has been extended for a few more days. $800 off on select Doughboy above ground pool packages. You don't want to miss this opportunity as the sale has been extended through July. You can't afford to miss these savings. And with deals like these, payments start as low as $65 a month. And you know, with all the stress and the pressures of the world today, there's nothing more relaxing than coming home and slipping into your own pool in your own backyard. It was about a year ago when me and my family started enjoying our pool in our own backyard, custom installed by Burton's. Hey, ask about $5,000 off right now on in-ground pools. It's part of their summer pool special at Burton Pools and Spas. Doughboy above ground pools are $800 off right now for a few days longer at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Whaley. Wow. Walks into the end zone. And I mean walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
Rolling along on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Robert dialed us up. He's in Fort Smith. Robert, you got something you want to tell Tye, what it's like to cover a winning team?
Yeah. I've been to all the BCS Bowls before Arkansas had been, before this new era. And then when your team finally makes it to one, you get to wear your team shirt, your team hat, and you're at Pat O'Brien's and you're calling the Hogs. It's not like baseball. Baseball, but it was just so cool because you get to be part of that finally. And when you're watching ESPN and you're at a bar there in New Orleans, that's our team. That's our team. It's just hard to explain, but that feeling, and we don't get it anymore.
Robert, I have been to Pat O'Brien's for a hurricane, but it was during the summer after college. It was not during an Arkansas football. So I'm just assuming the atmosphere, if you're an Arkansas fan, would be a lot better down there for the Sugar Bowl than just a casual summer day.
Oh, it is. It's electrifying because then you've got Ohio State fans, and people weren't really talking nonsense because we didn't know each other. And you're just walking around, and it's just like I said, though, when you get your team's finally at a Final Four, it'd been a Final Four now, it's been like, that's my team. My team's finally made it. And now we don't get that taste anymore, and it hurts,
Appreciate the phone call, Robert. As always, pleasure talking with you. You can hear there's a depression in his voice. Robert's usually, even when he calls with a critical question or point of view that might not be such a happy point of view, he usually has a smile sounding. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that at all. This sounds like a depressed football fan, which I think mirrors the way most people think. Even though might be an uptick right now, and talent-wise, you're looking at this upcoming football season, you're thinking, maybe there's another 0-8. I don't think it'll happen, but I think there are some people that do.
And you just think about Arkansas was not on the mountaintop because they hadn't won a national championship. They weren't to the likes of Alabama or LSU or something like that. But, you were about as close as you get. Phil, you think about the losses. I touched on it before. 2010, you lost to the national champion in Auburn. You lost to the best team over the past decade in Alabama. That's your 2010 losses. And Ohio State don't really count that because of the implications with the scholarship and stuff. Then go back to 2011. You lost the two national championship teams in Alabama and LSU. Those were your 4 losses over 2 years. 3 national championship contenders and 1 team in Alabama that's dominated the decade. So you're about as dominant outside. You're the second tier across college football, which for Arkansas fans take that every stinking day of the week. So if you get to that point and you know what it's like, and I remember that, and you remember that, and then now you're here. Now you're in. You can't even describe it as a rut. It is such a hellhole where this football program has been the last couple of years. It's just a bummer. It's hard not to get depressed. It just is.
Well, if you're going to get back to the promised land, you're going to have improved quarterback play. And, of course, Arkansas right now looking at Chandler Morris down the line. He was competing at the Elite 11 camp at the Star in Frisco, and so was Jacoby Criswell, the now North Carolina commit. And, of course, both of these, can't help but think they're going to be compared side by side. Of course, Chad Morris's son, Criswell, coming out of Morrilton. So Chandler Morris was ranked 11th amongst the quarterbacks and apparently has just been knocked out of the top 11 based upon today's performance. It looks like Jacoby Criswell was placed 9th. So what did you read about Chandler Morris getting ejected out of not ejected, that's not the right way to put it, but just, removed out of the top 11 ranking?
Just based on his 3 days there, the other quarterbacks beat him out. And this was from Barden Simmons for CBS Sports. We're going to try and get on Barden later this week on the program to just talk about Chandler Morris, Criswell, and some of these other guys. He had this to say about Chandler. He said, during the scramble drill, asking quarterbacks to throw outside of the pocket, Morris was more accurate ones with the ability to disassociate his upper and lower halves without suffering ball placement or command. Things aren't as effortless on the big downfield throws. And I think what the point that Simmons is trying to make is this. Morris is he's not a Ryan Mallett type. He's not 6'5", 6'6". He's not Matt Jones walking into the building. Like, this guy has, I think, physical limitations, not not because of he doesn't work hard, he's not in the weight room and stuff, but just his size and stature isn't comparable to a Trevor Lawrence or some of these other studs you'll see across college football. So, but again, Phil, here's the thing. So Mitch Mustang was probably the most recognizable freshman quarterback entering to Arkansas. And maybe there's an older fan listening that can point someone else more. I honestly think, and you could put this in writing now, I think Chandler Morris, unless he defers and ends up going somewhere else, I think he is going to face more pressure at Arkansas than Mitch Mustang did the freshman year, based on the fact that his dad is the head coach and that the number one quarterback in the state decided to go elsewhere because of, and that's not 100% because of Chandler's commitment, but that had a huge reason to do with that. There's going to be an enormous amount of pressure on this kid, regardless if it's warranted or not. I'm guaranteeing you that's going to happen. It's just inevitable that this pressure awaits this kid.
Let's go to the break. We'll talk basketball with Kevin McPherson coming up next on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime.
This is your last chance to save $1,000 off the remaining new 2018 GMC Sierras at Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston. Right now, you can save $16,000 off new in-stock 18 Sierra Denali 4-wheel drive half-ton crew cabs and $13,000 off new Sierra SLT half-ton crew cabs. These savings are unprecedented and will not be repeated. Hurry in now to Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston and find your next truck at prices you can't believe. Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC in Charleston or online at huggm.com. Closer than you think.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week, Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
When the temperature starts heating up outside, it means summer is on its way. Let Pinnacle Telecom ease the heat with a brand new Name Your Speed promotion. That's right, switch your business to Pinnacle's fast fiber internet and name your internet speed. Any speed, and pay just $50 per month for internet the first 3 months. If you're under contract with the other guys, no problem. Pinnacle will honor this promotion when your term is up. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com. Offer ends soon, some restrictions apply.
Mudfest 2019 at Magic Springs, featuring Puddle of Mud, plus Saliva, Trapped, Saving Abel, and Tantric. Saturday, July 6th at Magic Springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Concert begins at 5 p.m. and is free with your one-day admission or season pass. Get yours today at MagicSprings.com or Kroger.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
Hey, Fort Smith, the Hampton Inn by Hilton was ranked in the top 10 Hampton hotels in the U.S., and their devotion to top-notch hospitality shows. With complimentary Wi-Fi, a free hot breakfast, and all of the bells and whistles you would expect, this newly renovated hotel has it all. They offer Hilton's digital key technology, meeting spaces, an indoor pool, and sports court. Hampton Inn by Hilton gives you everything you need for business or leisure travel. Give them a call at 479-452-2000 and see for yourself why the Hampton Inn is Fort Smith's best hotel.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Takes it on the hop at the 9. He's got a seam. Then planted as he got out to the 28-yard line. Dallas Washington picked him up and crushed him.
Let's talk with Kevin McPherson on Twitter at ARHoopScoop. Always good to give us some of his time. Of course, you follow Kevin at hogville.net, Pig Trail Nation, KNWA, various radio stations across the state. Kevin, always good talking basketball with you. How's it going today?
Oh, it's going great, guys. Busy as usual, and but a sunny Monday. If basketball news is going to break every day, the sun's always out for me anyway because I love the hoops.
Well, lots of professional news breaking, of course, over the last 16 hours or so. We'll talk about the stuff that hits a little closer to home at Arkansas, and of course, saw the photo of Moses Moody and his first unofficial visit since Eric Musselman became the head coach. This is somebody that looks like could be a one and done with 20 offers. Realistically, what do you think the chances of landing Moses Moody at Arkansas would be?
Man, that's almost impossible to say. I mean, that's the only school he's taken an official visit to. He did that in October with the previous staff. And the way it works now is you get 5 visits during your junior year, and you get another 5 official visits in your senior year. That was new last year. His class 2020 was the first to get to go through that junior year. So he's still got 5 more to take in terms of official visits. But the way it works right now is yesterday, Sunday, was the last day you could take unofficial visits until August. There's 5 days this week of official visits that can take place through the 5th, and then it's a dead period after that. So Arkansas had a very busy week last week. Not only Moses Moody, but some other in-state kids. We've seen the grad transfer and transfer work that Musselman's done. He's got a couple of more transfers coming in for official visits today and tomorrow. But to really get in the in-state 2020 kids, 2021, they made an offer to a 2022 in-state kid over the weekend. And then Bryce Thompson, the 5-star 2020 out of Booker T. Washington, also took an unofficial visit last week. We're starting to see now how he's trying to cast a wide net, get guys on campus. That's the next step. You can make all the offers in the world. If you can't get guys interested enough to come visit you, you're kind of stuck there. So to circle back around on what you asked me, if you can get Moses Moody on campus like they did for this unofficial visit, get to meet the staff, let them share their vision with him, now you've got a building block to say, look, we want to be on your radar to get one of those 5 official visits for your, upcoming for your senior year, a lot of visits. And that's when, if you can do that, I think they're going to have a good shot of landing him. Now, it depends on what other schools get involved. I know Duke's been interested. And once the blue bloods start circling, it's tough. And it doesn't matter where the kid's from. And, of course, he plays out of state at Montverde Academy in Florida. But a big-time top ESPN top 25 5-star had him on campus yesterday, really to wrap up a big week of unofficial visitors last week.
Well, and then, of course, there's the news coming out about an Arkansas native out of Jacksonville, Tyree Appleby, who's entered the transfer portal, one of the top scorers in the Horizon League, playing for Cleveland State. And also, I don't know if I'm saying this young man's name correctly, Ifiel Horton, 6'3" guard out of Delaware, a freshman who's looking to transfer as well. So these are the 2 visits you're talking about.
Yeah, these are the guys. And Horton's arrived midday today. His official visit will carry through tomorrow, and then just got off the phone again with Appleby. He just talked to Eric Musselman and was really excited. He said Musselman told him how much they like his game and they really want him, and they think that he can help them win. Both of these guys would sit out a year. Horton was a freshman last year, made the all-freshman team. Well, led all scorers in the Colonial Athletic Association Conference. Freshman scores at over 13 points a game, shot almost 41% from 3. So here's a guy that'll have a year to sit out and then 3 to play. And then Appleby, who I just talked about, he'll get to Fayetteville tomorrow. They'll get there about midday, and his visit will end on Wednesday. But yeah, over 17 points, 5.6 assists, 1.4 steals. All 3 of those numbers, those stats, were in the top 5 in the Horizon League, as he made second team last year as a sophomore. So he'll have 1 to sit and 2 to play wherever he lands. But I think it's interesting. So much talk about Arkansas needing a big, and Kerry Blackshear was out there, it seemed like, for an eternity. But really, when I start looking at this roster and some of the moves and some of the things that have happened, and the way that Musselman, everybody wants to talk about these grad transfers. He only had 2 in 4 years at Nevada. He's got 2 so far in this class, but he really likes guys that are traditional transfers, sit out, get stronger, learn his system, guys he can work with and mold that already have some experience, so that they come in ready. So what he's doing right now makes sense to me. Some fans are probably scratching their head going, what about big guys? Well, it's that time of year where the big guys are pretty much off the board, the quality ones. I know Arkansas this weekend was at a JUCO camp, looking at some JUCO bigs. But these 2 guards, to me, make sense if they can get them.
Talking with Kevin McPherson, Pig Trail Nation, Hogville, other various sites here on Halftime. Kevin, you wrote an in-depth story on Khalil Garland. How painful for him do you think his journey has been, going from like a top 50 guy to not being able to be in a play and be a Razorback at Arkansas?
Well, he's human, okay, and he was such a gamer, and you hear that thrown around so much, but it's really a guy that had a high basketball IQ. He competed every night to win. Some guys play to play. He played to win. Stats didn't matter to him. He made guys around him better. I don't know how many people I've told this. He had an NBA transition type of game. Some guys just either have to dunk, but if you give them any kind of a contested anything contested around the basket, they have a hard time finishing. Could finish with either hand, had sprinter speed. It's got to hurt Khalil Garland with the talents that he had. He saw himself as being able to take that step in college to help transition to the NBA. It's got to be a painful process for him to sit out for 2 years, continue to be tested and can't get cleared. At the same time, if you ever looked on the sideline, if you ever paid attention, he was always cheering on his teammates. He was always in the huddles. He was always at practice. He goes to the community service stuff. He's a part of this team. He will remain part of this team, and I think he's taken a positive approach. That's what I sensed when I interviewed him. And he said, man, that this situation taught him that he's not just about basketball, and he'll be fine. And I believe that. Here's a young man that's he's got runway model good looks. This guy is charming. He's on social media all the time, interacting about a lot of stuff. And he wants to either get into coaching or maybe broadcast journalism. But I think Khalil Garland will do whatever he wants to do. A great young man that, yes, went through some pain, but I think he's going to make the best of it.
Have a couple good days for a couple pro Razorbacks. Bobby Portis signing with the Knicks. You have Patrick Beverley re-upping with the Clippers. How do you see Portis meshing with the likes of Kevin Knox, R.J. Barrett, and the New York Knicks organization?
No, I think he'll mesh. They need guys that can space the floor and stretch things, that can shoot. And if you look at Portis's numbers, he's a guy that really in his first 3 years sort of bumped along a little bit, up and down, really inconsistent. That's not unusual for young players in the NBA. But if you look at his numbers last year, his fourth year, which was his contract year, he really shot the ball better from the three-point line. He jumped up several percentage points when he was at Chicago, and then when he transferred to Washington or was traded to Washington, those numbers got even better. So he finished the season nearly 40% from behind that three-point line, and it was just over 40 when he was with Washington. Career highs in scoring, and you look at his rebounds, 8.6. I mean, that's a career high. So a guy that continued to prove himself to get to this next contract, and I think he got a good contract. The Knicks have been a mess, but we'll see what happens with Bobby Portis helping that team. I think, stretch defenses because he can knock down shots from that forward spot. He can also double as a center because he's a quality rebounder. So I think a versatile guy that has proven that he's going to be a long-term player in the NBA.
Kevin, did you see the tweet? I think it was from Adrian Wojnarowski, and I think he was trying to celebrate Patrick Beverley and the route that he's taken to this contract with the Clippers. But he was quoted as saying he was run out of the University of Arkansas, exiled to the Ukraine and Greece, and then fought all the way to the $40 million contract. Hell of a journey. Was he? I don't remember him being run out of Arkansas. Remind me what happened with Patrick Beverley.
Well, I'm going to be careful here, but there was some academic scandal stuff going on. And he basically was, but it depends on how you want to frame that. Did he do it to himself? Well, if there was something that was, a little nefarious with some, basically some testing or, I don't remember the specifics. I just remember that it was not just him, it was others. And that's what he got caught up in. The old school word we used to use was cheating. So I'm not going to go there in that situation. I guess I kind of did, but I'm not going to call Patrick Beverley a cheater in college. But he did leave Arkansas under those circumstances. So was he run out? Did he do it to himself, or he ran himself? I mean, that's up to the how you want to frame that is a personal choice. But it's not like he just left Arkansas to go explore his professional options. He may have done that anyway. Beverley was a guy that really had a lot of NBA guys talking about him before that happened. I remember that because of some of his unique attributes that we see now. We see those unique attributes now. I mean, here's a guy that's, undersized, really typical for a guard that can go in and rebound. He's one of those guys that reminds me a little bit of Rondo and some of that, some of these backcourt guys that are tough guys. He's one of those. And, he's been a great player in the NBA in terms of the role he plays. He plays it up. He's effective, and proud of him to see him continue to get paid and to get contracts in the NBA.
Kevin, good stuff as always. Appreciate you. We'll talk again soon.
Good to be with you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Kevin McPherson covering all things Arkansas basketball with us. Hey, if you're looking for a new car, don't forget about Road Chevrolet, a name you've been trusting for over 80 years. Road's always dependable on the car buying and car owning experience. From the first time you walk into their showroom, you'll be treated like family. That's part of Road's family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or at roadchevy.com. Road Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. Cherry on the top of a Monday halftime next on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
What's your name? What's your sign?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Tell me this, do you kiss on the first date?
The Paint Store in Van Buren, ready to help you with summer projects, putting 31 years of experience to work and helping you choose a new color or match one you really need. In addition to a computer, they use their eyes and minds to see color and make adjustments to choose just the right Richards Paint product for your project. They'll keep samples in your name and address for 10 years. No other paint seller does that. See the large selection of the current and popular paint colors from Richard Paints and experience customer service you won't get anywhere else. The Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road, Van Buren.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
If you run your own business, when you're not on the job, you're on the road, in your van. Signs that say detour and do not enter are just plain bad for business. Well, here's a sign that's great for business. It says 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance on Mercedes-Benz Sprinter or Metris vans. Powerful, capable, and affordable. That's Mercedes-Benz Van Power. With pioneering safety technologies and low total cost of ownership, Mercedes-Benz vans are the right choice for your business. Check out the full lineup of Mercedes-Benz vans starting at just $25,995. 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance. That's van power for all. Mercedes-Benz vans, born to run.
Starting at price refers to base model Metris worker cargo van. Excludes all options, taxes, title registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Please see your dealer or go to mvvans.com for further details and exclusions.
Spring is in the air. Not in the house, Dalton. Okay, AJ. Aw, snap, I told you not in the house. Red Kool-Aid all over the white carpet. Mom and Dad are gonna... Okay, AJ. I can't believe it. We're so in trouble. I told you so.
Thank you for calling Service Master Clean. This is Tanya. How can I help you?
Tanya, it's Dalton. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. Think Service Master Clean. Visit us online at smcleanonline.com.
Got a mystery stain on the carpet and the kids insist they don't know what it is? Or you're just ready to give the house a good spring cleaning? Call Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Call today for spring specials.
Service Master Clean. For the clean you expect and the service you deserve. It's okay, AJ.
Keep your stuff yours. Would you spend less than $500 to secure your home? Guardtronic offers a home security package for only $425 and $19.95 a month. If an alarm goes off, Guardtronic makes the call to get you help 24/7, 365. Celebrating 60 years in business. Guardtronic is a family-owned business, now in the third generation of folks who want to make sure your stuff stays yours. Call them today, 785-2323, or visit guardtronic.com. License E050.
Hey, Tye Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? Yep, they do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with a flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
We were on a break!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, what a rope.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe Adams.
There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
See, Phil, that's what I'm talking about.
Good moments.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not players running into each other before the snap.
Yeah.
Or, letting somebody run 100 yards without being touched.
It's a backup quarterback going on the road in the SEC doing what he did. God, I miss that. You just don't have that anymore.
I know. Here it is, and you're talking about
Tearing
how excited you are for football in 61 days. We'll see how you feel in 63 days.
Can you be excited for misery that awaits you?
Well, I mean, I think it'll be a better season than you saw last year. I really do. I mean, it's a matter of degree of badness, really, because it's not going to be a good year, but it can be a better year.
That's the only way you can look at it as an Arkansas fan at this point. I can't. You know how sometimes when you head into the season, and it was a lot of times during Bielema's year, Phil, where you're like, man, they can win this game. This guy's going to develop. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. There was a lot more.
All the ifs. If soup.
Yeah, there's a lot more overhyping, but I feel like you're not undervaluing Chad Morris's second season, but there's not a lot of people buying stock in it. And I think that's it's fair based off what happened last season, but man, I hope we have a highlight like that. Maybe not this year, but in the years to come, because those were fun days, Phil.
You want to start counting down until the first pitch for 2020 baseball? What do you think?
Arkansas is a baseball school. Facts.
Just ask Dominic Fletcher. He confirmed it. He did.
Ask anyone. Someone will hate to admit it, but it's true.
Thanks to Blaine Toll for joining us today, and also Kevin McPherson. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Tye's on for one more day. Then we get to talk smack about him on Wednesday. For Tye, I'm Phil. Get up, get out there, get better.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your